Hello, everyone, and welcome to Portal Room. Today, we are going to be talking about Backlash 2026 that took place on Saturday. So, this one was a pretty good show. It seemed a little short at times. I have to say, there's one thing I'm not a fan of is just the way they provide. I guess it's the first hour on ESPN before they switch to the unlimited package. But most of the matches I thought were pretty good. Jay Fizzle, what did you think about Saturday night's Backlash?
Overall, I think it was good, and I say it was good just because of we actually got wrestling. Um, I think that's what made it good. Um, I'm saddened by the storyline, but we'll get into that because the storylines is something that is causing me to go crazy right now for the product. But overall, they did well.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say the matches were pretty good. They were a good length this time because when I watched WrestleMania, I sure as heck timed every one of those matches to see exactly how long they lasted. And this one, pretty good length of a match, so I was impressed with that. I guess we'll start off with the first match, which was Braun Breaker versus Seth frickin' Rollins. Now, I was surprised when Seth came back because I thought he was going to be out a little bit longer than he was. But, and actually, Braun, I thought he would have been out a little bit longer as well. But I was thoroughly impressed with this match. I think it went probably about 25 minutes long. So that was great. And it was a really good opening match. What are your thoughts on that match?
Um, I want to say that the match chemistry was good. I'll say just for example, I love the passion that Braun Breaker has as a wrestler. His speed, his creativity. I felt that there was for the first time ever. I'm going to say this very nicely. He did not have any vouches because at times he does have vouches where he will do the Frankenstein. Actually, no, there was a little small vouch where when he did the I forgot what he calls it, but we're going to call it the Frankensteiner. And he already leaped over, and because Seth Rollins didn't time it right, it looked
Yeah.
like it was almost disengaged, and Rollins kind of just went over.
Yes.
And that move drives me crazy when he vouches that. But Seth Rollins, he sold the match. I'm happy for the result of what happened. I love when Seth Rollins came out because he is a fashion statement. So he came out looking like he's ready for war. Again, a secondary costume of smoke. But the chemistry was good. The speed was good. How they performed very well was good. I will give the match a B.
Okay. Yeah, I have to say I did enjoy most of the match. They looked like they did, like you said, great chemistry together. I think they meshed well. Even the interferences that happened throughout the match wasn't overly drawn out, so that was good. But
Hmm.
all in all, yeah, I say this one was a great opening match. Well worth the time seeing it, and they're gonna have a rematch, so I can't wait to see what happens then.
I
Then
will
we,
say there was one thing I really liked too, though.
uh huh,
If you remember, I think it was the second spear. 'Cause I think there was a total of three spears, if I remember that he did.
yeah,
But I think on the second spear, like Rollins turned that into a pedigree. I was like, that was beautiful because I
it
love
was right.
finishers are reversed and turned into finishers.
Yes,
That's like back in the day playing like WCW, No Mercy, and like those games. Like I love reversals of finishers to finishers. So that was beautiful.
that was a nice move. I forgot all about that because he was about to be speared when he turned it into a pedigree and then tried to do a stomp. So that was good. That was a really excellent move right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That probably I'd give that a B plus now that you said that. It was a better match than what I thought because I totally forgot about that. So yeah, I love that. Let's see. How you doing, Rob? So yeah, this was a good opening match. I was impressed with that. And then our next match which was going to be Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. So I like Trick Williams. Yeah, I've liked him when he was in was NXT. I love when he came up to the main roster. So Trick Williams is so cool. I think he's one of the best out
Mm-hmm.
there right now. So this was one that I was looking forward to. Most of the time I'm like, this is his first title defense. I'm pretty sure he's going to win. But you kind of get kind of nervous when it comes like to a rematch like this. So it was a good second match. Um, Sami Zayn did go out of his way you know, to show that he's a bad guy, but he sold everything that he did in that
Mm-hmm.
match, which I think is great, putting Trick Williams over like he did. Sami Zayn deserves his props as well. So, your thoughts on this second match?
So just like you said, the package that is created and Triple H giving him the autonomy to become the Triple Williams that he is, the little third stepper, because apparently we're moving away from
You're gonna walk away?
the
Time to
Trick
bring the juice.
champion. So again, like I don't know what it is, but Sami Zayn is a really good person to work with.
Yeah,
Like you said, he sells very well. He knows what the product, what they're asking for to execute. So I love the fact that they're working together to make this match look great. Even how much I hate that we're continuing right now with the celebrity of little Yachty.
yeah,
I do love the spin that they're adding to that. Even just doing like a backtrack, which I'm gonna laugh at this one. But even going back to like SmackDown and the whole like gingerbread man storyline.
yeah,
It is a beautiful product that they're making because Sami Zayn is known, for being serious, for being a great wrestler, to even making a comedy be a thing. It is a really good like matchup right now with them.
yeah.
And also giving the final blow of doing the trick shot, beautiful.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
beautifully sold. So really
Yeah,
good match. I would
I
give
forgot
them.
about the gingerbread man because I love the pictures that they showed when he passed away. I'm like, when the Undertaker lost, and you see him in the background looking
Dressed like
down.
Undertaker.
Yeah. I was like, that is so funny because they superimposed them in every one of these things. So yeah, they did a good job with that. Uh, like you said, Sami Zayn did a fantastic job of putting Trick over.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's a good worker as well. I have to agree with you. So I knew that was going to be a really good match coming into it. So yeah, I think that was, a great second match, still on ESPN though, so everybody could see those two matches prior to the show starting. But they were good. It was a really good show. Great matches to
Hmm.
start off, and then we get where it switches over to ESPN Unlimited. Now this match, I have to say, I don't know. I was a little like, it's okay. So we have Danhausen and Minihausen because Danhausen, what do you say? He clones himself to a smaller person, and that gives the Miz and Kit Wilson. Now, when we talk about Sami Zayn, we also got to talk about the Miz. The Miz, he has been for the past few years putting everybody else over right now as well. So I have to give the Miz his props. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He is a great worker, and he knows, just like Sammy, he knows his craft. I love watching the Miz perform. He does a great job every time, and especially with Danhausen and especially Minihausen. I can't even say Danhausen, Minihausen for the Miz and Kit to work with him. They sold the heck out of what they were doing in that match. So
Yeah.
that was great to see. I actually heard that Danhausen is that little kid that won the tag team belt with what is it, Braun Strowman. what is it? I can't remember which WrestleMania, but they won that the tag team together.
Wow.
That's him as an adult now. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard, that was
Huh.
him, and now he's back. So all in all, what did you think about this first match on ESPN Limited and the third match of the night?
All right, so I'm gonna bring up what we used to call it back in the day, but this is the Rudy Poo Poo Dookie of the night because I was very disappointed. I
Okay.
wasn't disappointed of the match. I was disappointed on the Rue Hall that we would have got. They literally for like almost 2 weeks in a way gave us this. Who's going to be the person that's going to be with uh, excuse me, Dan Helsing? Is it going to be John Cena? Is it going to be somebody that we did not know who it was going to be? So when he started hitting the box, going from one side to the other, he opened it and he looked in it. I was like, please don't be a whack gimmick. And then I saw Minnie Helsing came out and I said, no. We was going to get a John Cena moment to a what are we doing here moment. So I think that's what caused me as I'm watching the match. Like I can't believe that. And I'm gonna say it because I'm gonna make it political real quick. TKO wanted something like that to happen. I don't think this was a Triple H move. I think this was a TKO move to be like, all right,
Okay.
let's do something different. But literally, if you looked at some of the influencers, they were like, "Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?" And then literally the same response that I got, they was like, "Oh, okay." Like it wasn't anything that was surprising. It was a dumb gimmick. So I think it brought that match down. Now Miz, great. Kit Williams, great. Dan Helsing, great. Minnie Helsing, great. It was a good match, but it threw me off the whole time watching the match. What was interesting though was Vinny Housing actually was the wrestler. His name is I had to look this up 'cause I can't pronounce his name correctly, but Miss Corrado, Miss Corrado can't pronounce his name, but he's from AAA.
Okay.
So this is a wrestler who knows what he's doing. He was great in Lucha Underground because I
Yeah.
watch Lucha Underground. So he's a really good minister wrestler. That's what I'm going to call him. I'm not going to use the other term they use on WrestleMania.
Right.
But he was good. It just threw me off. So that's why I'm going to give the match C minus. It
I
threw me.
have to. I got to agree with you because I wish it was, like you said, somebody that would have been a lot better than what was going on. They did a great job for what they put out there. That
Mhm.
if that was the product that they wanted to put out there, it was a great product that was out there. So I'll say A for effort, but I didn't really want to see that type of match. I wanted to see something more serious. You could have just did Minihausen, I mean not Minihausen, but Danhausen just versus Kit would have been a better match instead of having the what they did out there. I would have loved to have seen that over what we got, but it was good. The curse thing with the mirror, that was kind of funny. But like you said, Minihausen performed quite well. Everything he did, he did that. And I'm like, yeah, I can see if this is what they wanted. That was great. I wanted something a little bit more. I kind of got out of that match. I was sitting there doing other things while it was on. I had a hard time paying attention, so I feel kind of bad about that. But yeah, all in all, it wasn't bad. It was, you said a C. Yeah, I can see it being a C as well, just because I didn't want to see that. I wish they did give us somebody else, or just make it a one-on-one fight with
Mhm.
Danhausen versus Kit. I think that would have been better with the Miz in Kit's corner. Um, that would have been something I would have enjoyed much better. But like you said, there were times when I've seen matches like I don't remember, was it WrestleMania when Jackass appeared and they fought Sami Zayn and they
Yeah.
did all okay. I didn't like that match at all, because they were
I
doing
wouldn't.
all the wacky stuff.
Hmm.
So this reminds me of something like that. I thought it was a filler match, and this was the first match on ESPN Plus. So I mean, Unlimited. I wish it was something a little bit better. So I have to agree with you on that. But after that match, we did get something way better. We got Io Sky versus Asuka. So I I don't know. I'm a huge fan of Asuka. I wasn't at one point, but she's kind of grown on me. I kind of like her. Io Sky is okay, but I love Asuka. I like watching her perform more than anything. And this was a very good match. I didn't think, you know, I've heard rumors semi-retirement for Asuka, so this was like her last thing. But very impressive match. I'll let you go first. What did you think about that match?
Well, first I want to say that the love for what they showed for the match was beautiful chemistry. We're talking about the apprentice with the senpai. We're talking about the student with the teacher. So because we have somehow disappeared from the storyline of the person that they removed, which again, this is what WWE did with this product for Backlash. It
Yeah,
drove me nuts of the
yeah,
incomplete rushing, excuse me, of the product that they showed for Backlash. Because of the political scene that's happening right now with TKO and WWE, it's driving me nuts. But if you just like remove that part and saw the love of what we wanted to see, which was wrestling, we talking about Oscar with the strong style. We're talking about Io Sky with the high fly, and they both have wrestled together and against each other in New Japan. It was beautiful. I loved it. I enjoyed the match. And once again, I felt that if this was one of the main events, this will be considered the main event match. Even to the point where, they were against each other. They was vicious. I don't like you. And then at the end, because we felt that heartfelt moment of Asuka waving to the crowd, to Io Sky bowing, showing respect, and even hugging and having a moment of speaking together in their
yeah.
language, we knew something was up. And
Oh
that
yeah,
transitioned to what we assumed was going to happen, which was, again, like you said, Oscar's last match and Io Sky showing the emotion. When I say showing some emotion, like she allowed Oscar to get the full scene
yes,
before she even showed that she was victory of the
yeah,
match. And then at the end, when the cameraman zoomed, away from Oscar, went back to Io, that's when Io was like, "I win the match."
mm,
So I commend Oscar. I give this match a 100% A plus because of we knew the relationship. We understood that even though this was rushed, they enjoyed wrestling together for
yeah,
the possible last times. And like you said, Oscar, her package is beautiful as a wrestler, female wrestler. I mean, we know she's there to wrestle. We know she's there to fight. And again, I'm going to miss to say that everybody's not ready for Oscar. What am I
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Because I know when I saw it, I was like, yeah. When she walked out, I've heard about her. She did her own makeup, so
Hmm.
I got to commend her on that. And she had the little tears under her eyes because Kyrie Sane was
Notice
let
that.
go. So I enjoyed the match. It was such a good match. It had its ebbs and flows. It was one way, then it was another way, then it was back the other way. I even love when they were out of the ring on the table and Oscar spit the poison at her and she grabbed the notebook and they put it on the notebook. So that was great. And then, like you said, Io won that match, and she did. She did win it. And then they had that moment in the end, and I'm like, oh no, don't say, because I felt like, oh, this is it. That's where Asuka's probably going to be leaving. But yeah, she did it because she wants to leave on her terms, and I can see this is her leaving on her terms. Maybe she'll wrestle again sometime in the future. We can't say because I don't know what semi-retired would be for her. But this was, like you said, it was definitely an A plus, especially when them hugging at the end of the match, with Io giving. Oscar all the respect that she deserves. I even think she was going to leave the ring first and let Oscar have that moment, but Oscar was getting out. And then that's when she was like, yeah, she stood there and accepted the praise for winning. Because other than that, I think she would have left and let Oscar take her bow for that match. So this excellent, excellent match. And like you said, this could have been the last match of the night instead of one, like it is a main event match between these two women. This was the only female match of the night, I believe, too, right? Yeah. So it definitely was a great match. I totally agree with that. So yeah, we had John Cena come out after that,
Oh gosh.
where where he's talking about, I don't even understand what it was because they were like, well, the wrestler doesn't even have to win if you voted for them. They can still win the belt or whatever. And I'm like, what the heck is that? Yeah.
So let me explain because once again we're talking about wrestling wars right now. So if
Yeah.
anybody's watching AEW, which WWE had me, now they're losing me again because I was the person who did jump ship. I'm gonna say it when AEW came out. I was watching AEW and I was not watching WWE. I was slowly transitioning to not watching WWE anymore because I wanted to see the competition. I felt like that it was transitioning into the new age WCW, and I loved WCW way more than WF back in the day.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so they once again, like they did in WrestleMania, had a little bit of wrestling wars. If people know what's going on with WWE and AEW, they had this moment where John Cena said, "Oh, I know y'all ready for anticipation. Oh, y'all ready to hear what's going to do? The John Cena Classic." And I said, "AEW International Classic. You totally ripped off AEW
Yeah.
and make it their own product that WWE wanted to do is exactly what you just said. It's not a tournament, everybody. Even though people are going to be wrestling to see who's going to be deserving of the new championship that I'm going to provide that's under John Cena, but the winner of the tournament could not be the winner. It could be the viewer's choice. I said, so wrestling doesn't matter then? The
I
wrestler
didn't get that.
all the matches but end up losing?
Yeah, I did not understand that at one, like, so you vote for who you feel performed the best, but they could lose. But if you felt that they did a better performance and you voted for them, then they win the belt. I'm like, what the heck is that? Yeah, I
I'll even
didn't
make a
get that.
joke about this too. Like I don't watch them. I didn't watch American Idol because I haven't watched American Idol forever.
I've
But people
never.
were talking about even American Idol for the results that happened. I believe it was yesterday. That
Uh-huh.
the person who won should have not won, and everybody was doing the same thing that happened back in the day when it came to like us as the viewers can vote. I mean, it
Yeah.
happened in Survivor a lot. It pissed me off. But like the person who won was probably because of the voters
Oh
and
yeah.
not because of the actual performer who should have won.
Yeah.
And once
Well,
again, this could happen.
yeah, because I was gonna say that happened when I watched So You Think You Can Dance, and there was this girl. We voted. You could vote. This was years ago, and I think what is it? Obama was president because Michelle Obama talked about the show, how much she loved dance. So You Think You Can Dance.
Yeah.
So the girl that won should not have won, but the guy won because everybody voted for the girl, and then this guy won just because nobody really voted for the guys. They were trying to make sure one of these two girls won. The girl who lost got to go to the White House to meet Michelle Obama because she loved that girl that everybody was voting for. And I'm like, this is how I felt when I heard this. I was like, oh yeah, you're gonna win on a popularity contest, and I never think that's fair. That should be based on how well you perform. So
Mhm.
we shall see. I heard that, and I was 100% out of it from the beginning when I heard them say that. So I don't know what's gonna happen with this, but
Hold on. Let me see if you give me like 10 seconds. I'm gonna
Okay.
check real quick because John Cena tweeted something, and it's what kind of like made everybody laugh. I'm almost there. If I can get it, I should have had this up already. Um, gosh, where's it at? If I can find it. Um, is this it right here? Okay, so this is what John Cena tweeted, and this was 2 days ago. He said, "When I ask to give advice, especially with WWE, I often reply, be authentic, do not fear failure. Know your why. The John Cena Classic may not be perfect by any means, yet authentically me, I am not perfect either, and reflects my values and beliefs. I'm aware that there's a risk it might be a total failure, and I'm not afraid, and I believe it's still worth stepping into the area." When people read this, people are like, "So you don't even know what it's going to be? Is this a complete product? Is this product going to fail? Because it sounds like you don't even have like the courage to say that this is going to work." What
I agree. And then,
are you doing?
yeah, because didn't they now WWE is coming out with their what is it called? Some type of membership where
Oh
you
my
can
god,
join
stupid
some
too.
membership. Are they going to say they're the only ones that are able to vote? And I thought about that when I heard the membership thing because you can at this point you can buy your tickets in advance to wrestling shows and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I was wondering because WrestleMania next year is in Saudi Arabia, so it got me thinking about well, I feel like you said with TKO, I don't know where they're going with the product. Why is WrestleMania overseas? Because you sell out everywhere. And I mean, yeah, you can give them an opportunity to go over there, but you always have a very specific show that goes to Saudi Arabia. I can't. Is it what show goes there? That's in a few weeks, I
Oh
think.
gosh, what is it called? It's where they you win that green belt.
Yes, the one that it's
Oh
SmackDown
god,
versus.
it's not popping in my head right now.
Yeah, but that's always in Saudi Arabia. They always have one in Ireland. A show that they do there. That's a pay per view. So putting WrestleMania, you've excluded your United States audience. I don't know a lot of us that would be able to go to Saudi Arabia just to see
Correct.
WrestleMania. So it's kind of sad. We'll have to see what happens year after next if they figure out something else. But that's where we're at right now. Um, and this one, like you said, I have no idea how well the John Cena Classic is going to do when that airs or when that starts. But at this point, we come to our final match, which was Roman Reigns versus Jacob Fatu. So this one, I mean, it was better than I thought. I was like, all of a sudden, Jacob Fatu is doing a choke that he's never done before, but they're building this up as it's something that can take Roman out at any time he feels like it. They've shown it in all of the lead ups to this event every Saturday night, I mean Friday night on SmackDown, or even what is it, Raw when they're there.
Hmm.
Jacob Fatu is choking everybody. He's choking Roman. He's busting the Usos. So, we got this build up where Jacob Fatu is the not the underdog. Roman is the underdog coming into this match
Hmm.
because Jacob probably is going to use this choke and choke out Roman, and he's going to be out, and that's going to be the end of it. So, I mean, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It was pretty good match, and it went on a little bit of time before we got our final little bit. But what did you think about this final match of the night?
That's my reaction, everybody. So, again, when us as the fans who are watching it, we expect a result. And we know that WWE is good for not giving us the result that we want as fans, which again, it's fine. It's the product that you want to sell. There was a rumor that Roman Reigns is going to be gone for a little bit, even though he said at WrestleMania that he's going to be a weekly champion. He's going to be on TV weekly. At the same time, there was a setup that they were showing. We had the Usos wearing the 42 in their jersey, a similar style jersey that also Jacob Fatu was wearing. So we thought that was a return. I thought that the product for myself and what other viewers was thinking as well, who were thinking similar to me, was thinking that the product right now should be that Jacob Fatu wins, so that we have Usos finally betraying Roman, and then we have the underdog reclaiming his throne at some point. Because again, we're thinking that he's going to be gone for a little bit.
Hmm.
So just like how you expressed, the Tong and Death Grip was being utilized a lot because this is a forbidden move that you don't supposed to be using against other Samoans. Again, we're looking face versus the villain right now. Then we got what we want, which I'm going to escalate to a Roman winning. And I say, what is happening right now? Is this a TKO move? Is this a Triple H decision? Because right now you're losing viewers. Because again, we love the fact that Roman is champion. I'm not a tribal put up the ones. I like his product. I love what he does. He sells. Roman Reigns is on top of WWE right now. I just think that WWE is making poor decisions when it comes to right now creating these new packages. They're rushed. We literally had Jacob Fatu come out of nowhere after WrestleMania and say, "I'm going to challenge you," and it's being rushed. So, like this product right now is how long you're going to have this rushed product where we're going to have family versus Jacob. Is Jacob going to join Solo? Like it's a storyline that we already saw, but it's being rushed so fast where I don't believe that Roman Reigns is going to be champion for long
Yeah.
because it's almost thrown in our face where it's like Roman's going to be champion for a long time, but Jacob Fatu is vicious. So I don't like the product. It's confusing. I don't follow it. Right now, I was talking to a friend earlier. I'm probably going to start watching AEW a little bit more because I'm not invested into the storyline because we've seen the storyline before, except now it's Jacob Fatu instead of Solo. But Jacob Fatu is I'll put it like this, and then I'm done. We are losing right now as fans. We don't know where these wrestlers have gone right now. We're talking about um, Randy Orton. We're talking about what's his name? That's from Scotland. That's my brain's not clicking right now. What his name is? Um,
Joe Hendry.
oh no. Gosh, what's his name? The Viking. What's his?
Oh, you talking about? Now you said it. Now I can't even think of his name. God, dang it all.
What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Um, LA Knight. Like, where are these wrestlers at right now? They almost in a way they disappeared. I'm scared for LA Knight. I think he's gone. To be honest with you, I think he's written off because of the Gunther story that he's supposed to have. Randy Orton, where you at, bro? I thought he was gonna come back and you're gonna have keep going with John. I mean not John Cena, but with Cody Rhodes.
Oh yeah.
Like, what are we doing here? All we have right now is Jacob Fatu, and I hope, which will make this much more easier for WWE product, is Oma Fitting rushes to the top scene and become a product within like this Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns. And if not, this family storyline is going to die very quickly, and it's going to lose my attention. And it's already bad enough that TKO as a company right now is destroying WWE slowly. It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because I'm looking at, like you said, God, I can't say who I feel should still be there. It's kind of hard. You would want. Let's see. Cody Rhodes hurt himself, so he didn't wrestle. He's got that eye injury, so he's going to be out for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
We got Penta, he's still wrestling, but you're right. It feels like they're getting rid of some of these people, and that I'm surprised that they're getting rid of. Let me think. What is his name? Oh my gosh,
Like I said, I never remember his name, and that's the funny part. That's why I'm like
Drew McIntyre.
Drew
That
McIntyre. Thank
yeah.
you, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, I like Drew McIntyre. I thought, he in the past he could be wrestler of the year because he, especially what 2 years ago, he was on top of everything at that point. And
Yep.
now I feel like you're right. They are pushing them to the wayside, and they're trying to bring up other people. Um, there's some of these wrestlers that I am not okay with. I have to say now, Dominic Mysterio, he is one hell of a performer. I
Yes.
hope,
Yeah.
I am very impressed with him. So I have to say that Backlash was kind of short. It was like 2.5, maybe 3 hours long total. And like you said, I felt like the storylines after WrestleMania, they were trying to push out some type of product that I don't think they had their heads wrapped around yet. Our next pay per view is in 3 weeks, and and then after that we have SummerSlam. And I know it's the big summer thing, which is going to be 2 nights. But again, the
Mhm.
next pay per view is in 3 weeks. I have no idea what's going to happen in that. I was glad Friday night that we got to see Jade Cargill return because I felt like for her to lose the belt at WrestleMania, I was highly disappointed in that. For Rhea Ripley to get a belt, I hope that they give us a rematch that is better than what we got in WrestleMania. So I want to see them build up Jade because I think she is 100% something that they wasted these past 5 6 months. She got the belt and then she didn't wrestle. So why did you give her the belt? So I'm hoping we get something better than that going forward. Um, all in all, that being said, what did you think of the whole product for Backlash? Would you say it was average, or because for me, I think total, I would say probably a B because after Roman won the belt, that's when Jacob did his move on him, and then they had to rip him off. But that was you know after everything was gone because I figured Roman was going to win. But what is your thoughts on it?
I'm gonna give it a C plus, and just because, like, again, it was rushed. Again, there was three great matches. Um, I'm the only reason I'm not saying again the Jacob and Roman match. That was a good match.
Hmm.
It was just that I just wasn't like fully into it because again I was expecting Jacob. It was again a good match. Just man, the results annoyed me. First product and what it was showing, I felt was rushed and it dropped points. Um, yeah, I give it a C plus. It totally could have been a B if we didn't get like the mini hosting situation, the disappointment of the John Cena Classic, because you're trying to throw shots at AEW, and again, the storyline of the family is just so drawn out. Are we going to get another 3 years of Roman Reigns being champion? I hope not. um, but they need to figure out fast how to keep us entertained because if you're just throwing new people in, you better give great storylines.
True.
Like you said at the end, Jacob Fatu, at some point he's going to be champion, I hope.
Yes.
Sooner than later. And I love even when we transition to Raw, where Jay's like, bro, you gotta stop, man. And he knocked the heck out of Jay Uso. He knocked the heck out of Jimmy, and he murdered Roman Reigns once again. So I
Yeah.
like that, but at some point it's gonna get boring. We're not gonna see this every week of him putting the Tonga Death Grip on him and walking out. It's going to get boring. Change
Yeah,
the product, please, quickly, or AEW is going to rise, and then Triple H is going to sit there and be like, "I told you so, TKO," because I know that's how you feel, Triple H.
yeah, I have to agree. So, like I said, I say it's like a B, because it did have some really good moments. I still say the Oscar, Io Sky was one of the best matches for me. Um, and then, of course, Trick Williams with Sami Zayn. Those are my two favorite matches of the night. So that's why I would say that was a better product. Minihausen with Danhausen was the the only disappointing part for me was that match, and I don't know. I feel like when I've been watching wrestling, I'm going to go back to WrestleMania. We had two nights of WrestleMania, but we only had probably 10 matches. And some of those matches were only 3 to 5 minutes long. This did give me a longer match, but I wish they had a little bit more product that they put out there in this major pay per view event. Uh, I hope they come up with some better writing over the next few weeks before we get our next pay per view. I know they're doing, like you said, a superstar change. So since they're doing that, we have to see where everybody's going to end up
Hmm.
before we know what we're going to be getting. And I think that's where we're having our product since they released so many people. I was surprised that they released a few of the Samoans, two of them that hadn't even been here a year. So they're both gone. Again, we lost Kyrie Sane, which I think upset Asuka, which is why she's doing what she's doing. So we'll have to see where we go from there. Jay Fizzle, anything you want to say in closing?
I even say this too, and I'm trying to remember what their names are, so I was trying to look it up real quick. But Garza and I can't remember the other guy's name. Supposedly, they also just got released. Basically, when Overfemi went backstage to grab them and did the Oma toss, we'll call it that. Um, Basically, they said that they wrote him off, and they end up doing a Twitter as well, saying that I'm gone. So a lot of wrestlers are transitioning, they're leaving, or they're not agreeing with the pay cut up to 50%, which again is political moves, or they're just being sent off and fired. I also heard Bailey is on that list, as well as LA Knight. Again, Bailey, I heard like she didn't agree with the package as well. At the same time, she's been a diehard loyal wrestler, just like how Xavier was and Kofi was as well. So
Yeah,
like
they're gone.
her to transition and leave, and then to kick it off from what someone said I read online, she had the opportunity to go to AAA because she wanted to do something with the Lucha in AAA in Mexico. So that also showed the kick you in the face. Okay, yo, you're releasing me. I'm still gonna live my dream to do something before I leave. I heard that she did that on her own accord. So man, they're losing very, very good wrestlers. LA Knight, the person who had everybody say, yeah, once again, a great product just like Jay Uso, but they're killing the product, releasing people because now their product is, I want the 30-year olds up there. I don't want anyone older. So I even talked to my friend earlier, and they're like, I told him, I was like, they lucky that Cody Rhodes got immunity right now because if he didn't have immunity, he'll be next. He's literally hitting 40.
Yeah,
So
he is.
yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared for the Rey Mysterio.
Rey
Uh,
Mysterio is 50,
yeah,
so
I'm
he's
scared for our Truth when they finish his little package deal. Like
40 something.
a
Yeah,
lot
he's in his 40s.
are out.
Yeah, I forgot about that because Rey Mysterio is 50 something. Um, what is it? RKO? He's 47, I think, right? And
Mid 40s. So yeah.
LA Knight is 45. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's, and I don't know how old Bailey is. she's got to be close to 40, right?
I
But
think she's in her late 30s.
late 30s.
Yeah,
So yeah, you're right about that. And Asuka is 44 or 40 at least.
she's
So
36.
she's 36.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, if they're doing
So that's why they're releasing her.
that, that's sad that they would do something like that based on age. But yeah,
Well, it's also based on, I forgot to say this too. TKO created a new clause saying that you can't interact with any other wrestlers in any other companies. So she's also been posting on TikTok, I'm sorry, on Twitter, her and Sasha Banks together to also kick them in the face.
oh my God. Well, if you can't say that because what is it? Ripley, I mean Rhea, her husband. Well, I haven't seen him on AEW in forever. I don't even know where he's at, but he was on AEW. Um,
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy, where is he at? I haven't seen him in years.
I don't know because I haven't seen him in years either. I don't know if he's still recovering or if he's using this time to because I know a lot of wrestlers what they're doing right now. The package deal right now is to beef up. So I don't know if he's going through the beef up process, just like how Pac did just last year. I'm not sure where he is.
Okay,
The,
so yeah, that would have been the only one I thought about was Buddy Murphy, and
yeah,
then
they're married. You can't.
yeah, they're married. That's what I was thinking. But even right now, when you think about it, what is it? Bree, her husband is still on AEW as a commentator.
Yep.
Brent Dian, was it Daniel
Brian,
Bryan? But it's Brian Danielson.
Brian Danielson. Yep.
Yeah, he's on AEW as a commentator, and she's on WWE again. So yeah, what are they saying about that? And that's her husband, not
Hmm.
So they cannot say anything about those two things.
Yeah, I think there are situations where, like, of course, they can't touch. You can't split up your marriage, but like, just to give like an example, which this is the one that's pissing me off. People who know about like the product right now with TKO and the decision making they're making is they're trying to create a new contract for Xavier Woods because of the revenue and the money that he was breaking in from Up Up Down Down, which we know 100% Xavier Woods is not going to agree with that because that means that him and Kofi is going to split up. And if we hope that what's going to happen is actually Xavier Woods and Kofi transition to AEW, and we found out three matches asking for because their tag team division over there is all of the greatest tag team champions over the course of history of WWE. I mean, we got opportunities for um, Christian Cage and Edge. Um, which his name's not Edge anymore. What's his name right now? I can't think of his name right now.
Uh,
Um,
he goes by, I can't think of it, and what he goes by.
can't think of his name right now. It's his actual name. We have, gosh, what are those two brothers' name? Gosh, I can't think of my head right now what their name is. But they also have the opportunity to possibly wrestle with the Hardy Boys. Even though the Hardy Boys is contracted with TNA, they also have a contract where they can wrestle amongst other federations and companies. So, like,
Oh,
we
that's
have great matches.
yeah. FTR is a great tag team
There we
match.
go. There's another one.
Yeah, I like FTR. So yeah,
Yep.
Adam Copeland is what he is. Rated R
Thank you.
superstar Adam
Yeah,
Copeland.
it goes by Copeland now. It's not Adam Cole, it's just Copeland.
Yeah, Copeland. Yeah,
And then Cope is the other way that they say it too.
yeah,
But the whole Xavier Woods thing and them trying to bring him back because of what they can use with him, he's going to say no to that because he has so much relationships with all these other wrestlers. And for you to tell him that he can interact with them, 'cause that's part of his product, Up, Up, Down, Down.
yeah. He has everything going on with him, and I couldn't believe that they released those two guys. So and they weren't being utilized correctly anyway.
No.
So yeah, I felt bad about that. So yeah, you're right. Um, and I agree, because Bobby Lashley had left when they had issues with their contracts at
Hmm.
WWE. And look how well they're doing at AEW.
Great.
And my favorite is, what's his name? Oh my God. Hold on. I can't even think of his name right now. Um, Hold on. Oh, Buddy Matthews is still on AEW.
Buddy Matthews. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's still listed there.
Anymore.
And man, they don't. Where is he at? Oh my gosh, the high flying guy from that used to be on WWE, and he went over there and became a heel. And I thought he was fantastic. Ricochet.
Yeah.
Ricochet did a fantastic job going to AEW because at first, I like Ricochet a lot, but him as a heel is 100 times better than him as a face on WWE.
Yeah. Like I love Chris Puma and Lucha Underground when he didn't have the voice and his wrestling showed off his character. And then when the product moved into WWE, I was like, oh man, we're losing one of the greatest wrestlers in history because he was up there in top tier of being like the top wrestlers in history. Now that he's in AEW and he's finding himself again, he's finding the joy of wrestling because he lost the joy of wrestling. If you heard his interviews when he was in WWE, but now having the autonomy and to bring on what he loves, which is anime and wrestling, and being a mentor in like certain high flying moves and creating moves, it's beautiful.
Oh yeah, I agree. So yeah, well, we got like I said, our next pay per view is in 3 weeks, I believe, is what they said.
Are we talking about Saturday night or are we
Oh
going
no,
in?
that is Saturday night. It's Saturday night. Whatchamacallit. That's not the pay per view. So
Um,
yeah, you're right.
I think after that it's just it's
SummerSlam is probably one of the bigger ones.
because we're skipping a month if I remember. I think the next pay per view is
Right.
July.
So yeah, we have that till next time. Um, the Royal Rumble will be in Riyadh, uh, and Survivor Series, but I don't think that's the one. Clash at the Castle, that's in Scotland. Crown Jewel is in Perth.
That's the one that you was trying to figure out earlier is Crowd
Yeah,
Jewels.
Crown Jewel, that's the one. And then we have Saturday night on NBC. But at this point, I got to wait. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks. Maybe we'll get some new writers. Hopefully, the show will be better. Anything else you want to say before closing?
Um, WWE, you better fix yourself because AEW is about to rise.
Well, yeah,
Sure.
I have to agree with you. I go back and forth between the two.
I mean, I'll even talk about it for like 30 seconds if you want to count me real quick. But anybody who knows right now AEW, the fact that Darby Allin is champion right now is beautiful. And the match that he had in the golf field last Saturday during the same time period of Backlash, I wish I would have turned and watched that match they had with Pac. It was beautiful. That was a really, really good match.
Okay, all right
So
then.
yes, over that match, over the whole Backlash.
Uh, I missed that match, so I'm gonna have to go back and look at it then.
Beautiful. It was on a golf course inside of a dome. It was a beautiful match.
All right.
Even Darby Allin fell from. I want to say it was. It wasn't. I'm not gonna call it the Raptors, but you know how like if you go into a stadium and it has that opening where people would come out.
Yes.
So you got like the seating that goes like this, and they're seating up top.
Yes.
He literally Pac tossed him from
Oh.
top of there, and he landed on four stacks of tables.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go back and look at that then. But yeah. All right, everybody. Join us next time. I think whatever the next pay per view is, we will try to sit down and discuss that. Again, like and subscribe. And if you get a chance, tell us your thoughts about Backlash. Do you agree with our assessment of what we saw? Because I think it was pretty good, but it could have been better. And we'll talk to you next time.
Jay Fizzle.